Imagine hiding in a jungle for 29 years, believing the war hasn't ended. No friends, no family, just orders and survival. Could you survive that long? This is the story of the soldier who refused to surrender, Hiroo Onoda. The year was 1945. World War II had officially ended. Nations celebrated, soldiers returned home, and the world slowly began to heal. But on a small, remote Philippine island called Lubang, one soldier refused to believe it. Hiroo Onoda, a young Japanese army intelligence officer, had been sent to Lubang with a critical mission: conduct guerrilla warfare, sabotage enemy operations, and never, ever surrender. His orders were clear, his duty absolute. When the war ended, Onoda didn't get the message. Leaflets floated down from planes, trying to tell the remaining soldiers the war was over. Villagers tried to convince him. Even letters from his commanding officers arrived. But Onoda dismissed them all as clever enemy trickery. To him, Japan was still at war, and his fight was far from over. And so, at just 21 years old, he retreated into the dense, unforgiving jungle, along with a few remaining comrades. The jungle became both his refuge and his prison. He hunted goats, gathered coconuts, and fished in the streams. Every single day was a fight against hunger, disease, and the merciless elements. As the years turned into a decade, Onoda grew stronger, sharper, more cunning. He learned to move silently through the trees, avoid detection, and survive with almost nothing. He built hidden shelters, lived entirely off the land, and never gave up hope that he was still fighting for his country. Over time, his fellow soldiers either surrendered or were killed in skirmishes with local forces, leaving Onoda completely alone. The outside world tried again and again to convince him to surrender. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, search parties came, more leaflets were dropped, and personal letters from his family reached him. But Onoda remained steadfast, refusing to abandon his orders. The war might have ended decades ago for everyone else, but in his mind, he was still an active soldier on duty. In the vast jungle, loneliness became his only companion. He was hunted by authorities who saw him as a dangerous holdout. And yet, he survived. He endured powerful storms, painful injuries, and an extreme isolation that would break most people. Guided only by his military discipline and the unshakable belief in his mission. He was a ghost, a legend whispered about by the locals, a man lost in time. It wasn't until 1974, a staggering 29 years later, that Onoda finally emerged. A young Japanese adventurer named Norio Suzuki had traveled to Lubang with a quirky life goal: to find Lieutenant Onoda, a panda, and the abominable snowman, in that order. Miraculously, he found Onoda. He sat with him, talked with him, and tried to tell him the truth. The war was long over. Japan had surrendered and was now a peaceful, prosperous nation. Even then, Onoda refused to lay down his arms. He explained that he would only surrender if he received a direct order from his commanding officer. So, Suzuki flew back to Japan, found Onoda's former commander, now an old man working in a bookstore, and brought him back to Lu. In an incredible, historical moment, the officer, in full uniform, officially read the orders, relieving Onoda of his duty. Only then did Hiroo Onoda finally step out of the jungle. Emaciated, bearded, and decades older than the boy who had first entered. He formally surrendered his sword and returned to Japan as a living legend. Hiroo Onoda's story is not just one of survival. It is a powerful testament to discipline, determination, and the sheer force of the human will to endure, even when the world has forgotten you. For 29 years, the war never ended for him, and through it all, he survived. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as I did, make sure to like and subscribe for more.